Hello guys, it's Paula, and I am going to do a craft with me today. But I do want to show you, I have a mess going on. Do you ever do that? You know, you just have all this stuff out that you want to do to use in a book, and then you're like, you can't think of what you want to do, and so you bring everything out, and then it becomes a big total mess. Well, I want to let you know the book I'm working on. The book itself is put together. I want to show it to you. And it's 2 signatures. And I think you'll be able to figure out what it is by looking at the book. This is a gardening book. Or that's the theme. It can be anything. You know, there's all kinds of growing that can happen. You can grow in love, you can grow in health, you can grow just about any way you want. You can grow things in the garden, you can watch a child grow. I mean, you can use anything in this book for anything. So I just love the fabric when I saw it. And I thought, man, I've got to use this fabric on something. And then, you won't believe it, but I also found a gardening paper. Yes, this is a little sample. The inside has just this beautiful green foliage here. The front and the 2 signatures have this beautiful print, which is so similar to the front. Let me see if I have a piece of the fabric anywhere close by. Yes, I'm going to do a flip, fabric flip, but I wanted you to see how close the fabric is to this paper. It was almost like it was meant to be. But anyway, this is 2 signatures. I'm going to give you a real fast little peek. This is the center, the galoshes. And here's some of the papers. And I'm going to be using a couple of different digitals in this book also. So this book, got Edith Holden. It's got some old vintage floral books in it. It's got, you name it. Like, look at this. It's got digitals with text and images. It's hard to know where to go because, you know, here's a Wildflowers of America. I mean, irises. Edith Holden. I feel like I already said that. Here is the plants on a wall in the little containers. You know how you can do that. Here is some wreaths made out of plants. Yeah, it just goes on. And, you know, it's awesome. Awesome, awesome. So, I was going to see if I could find some more of the big. Well, that's the same one. I seem like I'm falling up on the same one each time. But there's a bunch of different things. I mean, there's not very many of 2 of anything. Each signature has a lot of similarities. Look at this iris. Isn't that beautiful? Irises, you know, are my favorite plant. And I know that it is also a lot of other people's favorite plant. So, this is the book I'm doing embellishments for today. And so, I'm not putting them in the book, but I am wanting to just try some of these seed packets. I know you know what I'm talking about when I talk about the seed packages. These that we got from Target last year in the dollar spot. And I've got some ideas. Maybe. We'll see. Now, mind you, I am using white. I probably should be using khaki. But my idea with these are to wrap is to wrap and make it like, you know, it can go both directions here, or you can lift it this way, or you can bring it all out this way. And then we'll make that a journaling space. Of course, it will have to be inked. It probably would have been better with a cream color paper. But the problem is it would take me too long to get around there. So I'm going to make this one with white. And if I decide I need cream for this book, I'll just make another one off camera. So I'll use it regardless, right? Okay, so this is one of the images here that comes with the kit. Well, there's really not a kit. It's kind of just different things that I've pulled a bunch of different things together. And so, all right, so I cut this piece. If you have these envelopes, you'll want to know what this measurement is. And I just kind of took this and cut it double, okay? So you can see that I put this like I was wrapping it around, or I measured according to wrapping that around on how tall to do it. So I did like this and decided that this was the height I wanted, which turned out to be 6 inches, okay? So it's 6 inches tall, and it is 3 3/4 wide. So I just doubled that. And, you know, really, you just take this and measure as you go, because it depends on what envelope you use. You may want to use a regular envelope to do this, because it would also work with a regular envelope. I like that though. Look there. And then before you know it, you've got this. Now you can actually put this in your book permanent, or you can slip it into a pocket or slide it into a tuck. And then pull it out and use it that way, because it's going to give you a lot of journaling space, okay? All right, so that's what I did, is I just cut it out that way. So that's how I want to do this first one. The second one, I thought we could do with the same size of paper, because they measure the same. I thought we could do the same thing, and I use this cutting line to do my scoring. So I've just put the flap over this other piece. Remember, it's 6 inches tall. Oh, it's a tiny bit too tall. Let me trim a tiny bit off. I forgot it. I got just a smidge too tall. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to look here just in a second. Okay, I'm going to pull that out. Let me make sure. Yeah, you can see. Let me move some of this. I've got stuff everywhere. Okay, let me pull you up a little bit there. Okay. All right, so this portion is cut. Now we're going to score. We're going to hook this flap over this white one here, over the white paper, and then slide it through and put it all the way up the envelope, all the way up to the cut line. Get your bone folder, and we're going to score. We want to score right up against the edge of the envelope, okay? We want it to be a perfect fit, and doing it in the crack here where you cut the cutting blade, where it glides back and forth, is what we're using for a score line. Now, mind you, you can get out your scoreboard and do all that perfect scoring, but that's not me. That's not me today. Today, it's just whatever it comes out to be. And then use your score tool to burnish a little bit. Now, on this one, so basically both of these are the same size. We want to burnish on both of these. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's start with this one. I've already decided on this picture, okay, for the inside of this seed packet. Now, I'm making 2 because I'm going to have 2 signatures, and I want to put one of these in each signature. Now, if you didn't want to make a, you know, a trifold look, and you just wanted to flap it or put it in and use it as a flip out, you could do that. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to show you with the book. You could just take this and do away with the cardstock. Don't worry about that at all. But take this, take the flap, put it under here. Put the glue on the flap before you do that. Put it under the page and bring it down like this. And you would have a flap, okay? But on this side, you would also have this gray showing. That doesn't bug me. And I think that is a good look too. And if I can't get these to turn out like I'm thinking, that might be what I do. But it probably gives your book less bulk to do that. But I want to do this, and I have been playing with this, trying to decide, do I want to do it on the right or the left side of this paper? Do I want to attach here? Well, I'm thinking there's 2 ways to do it. I think I want this pocket, but I think I want this top portion to be a pocket also, okay? So, so you can do it either way. But now, if I'm going to make this be a pocket, I want this flap to be in between the 2 pieces, okay? Do you see what I mean? Let's do it like this. So we're going to put it around toward the front. It will start here on the front. I hope this isn't confusing. Okay, and then this is open. I want the flap to be on the inside. And what I recommend, rather than just trying to hold it all together on the sewing machine, I would just put a little bit of glue on the flap here. Okay, I'm using the glitter glue, and I'm doing just like that. And we're going to just line it up, make sure it's straight on the top and the bottom. You want to make sure that it's perfectly straight, because that's how it will end up. And this stuff glues, this glue, it glues fast. Okay, so let me put the little cap back on it here, the needle back in it. All right, so now here we have it like this. Now you can leave it like that, and you can glue this part down in your book, and it can flip out this way and then this way. You know, you got all this different ways of doing it, which is how we're going to do the other one. But I want to do this one first. I think it's a little more difficult. So we're going to make this one into, I want to make sure this is perfectly square right here. It looks like it needs just a tiny bit more taken off the edge. And that's why I said just kind of have to play with it, because there's no perfect measurements. It looks like I got it off just a tiny bit. Maybe that's the problem. Yeah, let's just do another one. We've already got another one cut, right? All right, so I want it to be perfect. So we're going to go ahead and do this one because I didn't get it where I wanted it. Okay, of course, you know, we want to do it as straight as we can. Maybe if I line it up here on the grid, I'll be less likely to not glue it correctly. Now, either direction you put it on here, it's going to work. So it doesn't matter if it's upside down or what, because we're going to make sure this is even. You don't have to worry about anything but getting this on there straight. And it may not even be possible to get it on there straight. You just never know. If not, we'll go back and use the other one. Yeah, see, it's wanting to be crooked. Now, why? It may be the envelope. You know, these are not high dollar envelopes. Yeah, looking at this envelope, I don't know if you can see or not. But see, this is off right here. It comes over this way more, which means it's not completely square. Which, you know, can affect how your project turns out. So I'm going to just do the best I can. Now, I'm thinking, I'm sorry, I'm doing some thinking. I should have had all my thinking done ahead of time. But I think when we do this together, it will make a difference. See, I don't like that. So let's pull out some more paper. All right, now, because I want you to learn this correctly and me to learn this correctly too. So we're gonna go, just put it down here on the edge of this paper. Make sure, I decided to do the khaki since we were having to change paper. Okay, so get your pencil. Where is my pencil? My lovely pencil. There it is. If I can get my hands on it. Do you, oh, good grief. Why is it not coming out of there? I have my pencils in the container so tight that it's hard. Okay, so you're going to mark here and here. You know that you want it to cut right there. So, keep your fingers crossed, right? All right, so I'm going to, we know this is 6 inches, but I think what happened is I scored on my paper. I scored my paper on the cutter instead of getting the scoring tool out. So I'm going to move the envelope so it doesn't get cut. There we go. Now, this envelope, let me see how wide it is. It's 3.5. So if we do, I think what I'm going to do is pull this over. Listen, it's not difficult. I'm making it look harder than it is. I'm just going to fold it. I say I am. I'm going to fold where it goes. So it's going to go at 3.5. Let's do it like this. Come on, come on, come on, come on. All right. If this doesn't work, I may have to start all over. I mean the video. This video will not be posted if I can't get it right. I think that's perfect. It is. I should have done that to start with. When things are not straight or right or correct as far as being square, it can mess you up quite a bit, you know. So here we go. Now let's see what we end up with. Now remember, you do not have to be too fussy with this. I'm just being fussy because I'm showing you. Now, look how much better that is. See? So we'll do the second one like that too. That way we know, you know. So see, that's perfect. Now, what I want to do is, like we said a second ago, is I want to glue this in between the two. So I'm going to lay it like this. And this is probably where I messed up last time. By using, if I use Fabri-Tac, I have more play of straightening it up. But I tell you, glitter glue, just so you know, whenever you put something on with glitter glue, it's not going anywhere. It is not going anywhere. Okay, so. All right, so now we're going to put a little bit. I made sure everything lined up. And then I'm just putting some glue on here, just like this. Now, after you get this on, quickly make sure it's square. And it is. Yay. We should have known, right? We should have known. Listen, I have stuff everywhere. Okay, so what I want to do with this is you want to make sure the glue's off right here. And see, because this little envelope being off right here is what messed us up. Now, you can glue this or you can sew this. Now, what I did was I stitched it. I got to move some of this stuff off here. I'm sorry. I'll move it to the other side. I've got more stuff on my desk, guys. I just decided to turn the video on and have you guys watch me or help me, or let's do this together. Now, you want to make sure that you don't stitch the top side, okay? So, we're going to stitch around the whole thing. And we're, like I said, we're not going to stitch across this top because it's going to be our little pocket. Before we stitch, though, let's take our 1-inch tool here, and I think I'm going to do both of them because we don't know where we'll end up putting this. So you just line it up the best you can. And I never am perfect on these punches. I don't know about you guys, but I never get them perfect. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. All right, so we're going to stitch here, here, and here. And get this on here. Now I don't know what color thread, brown thread. So we have a gray seed packet, and we got all these. But we do have brown as far as the, you do want to back stitch when you do this at the start and finish, so that since it's a pocket. Now I will bring it over and let you see what I'm doing. I'll bring it over and you can see what I've done. I have too much stuff on my desk to have the sewing machine available. I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, I pulled this out quickly, and I can tell you a boo-boo I've already made. I'll let you guess whenever I come back over that way. See if you can figure out what it was. Okay. But, you know, once you do it, you can't go back. There's no going back on some things, right? All right. So since I back stitched, I don't have to tie off my, can you see what I did? It's not perfect, for one thing. It's not perfect, but you know, nothing is. I should have gone down one more stitch because I really didn't want this wide of a margin, but it's all right. You know, it's just all right. I don't even mind. So now you can see that what we've got is a seed packet that has a pocket that is from the top. So we can slide things down inside this pocket. This stuff is like stuck together. We could slide down in here from both directions. We can slide in here, and you can have the window. So go in here like this. Now you can put stuff in here and change it around if you want, or you can find something you like and leave it in the window and glue around it, and still put stuff in there, but behind whatever you glue down. Does that make sense? For instance, this one, for instance, this is an example. I want this to be in here, so I would glue just in outside of this circle on the inside and then put my picture in there. You do want to use something that you have some time to arrange it, because you know how it is. If you use the glitter glue, you're not going to have any time. So this one was the easy one. Pretty much that's it. Now you'll ink it and do all the things you need to do. I may not use this one for the book because I think I want to use like a cream color because of this background. You know, I think cream would look better with the gray, but we're using this one to learn on today. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so we've got a page here, and you can put this on like this. You could even add some paper here that, you know, but if we do it in the cream, it's going to blend nicely. So you've got this pocket. You could even have a pocket over here if you wanted to just glue it here and here onto your page. And then you have a pocket here, and then it will fold up nicely. So I haven't decided how I'm going to use it yet, but I wanted you to see how fun that is. And I just have been sitting and playing with paper. I'm sorry, I've got such a dry mouth this morning. It's medicine. So, all right, so we know how to make that one. I made it difficult, I'm sorry, but what can I say? Okay, let me bring this whole stack over here because I know it's in here somewhere. Okay, so now we have other things. Here's this white one. We're going to go ahead and do the white one. I'm going to see if I have the example. I do. Here's my example. See, this is how it's going to look. So you're going to attach the flap of the seed pocket to the inside with this one as well. Now, I cut more paper this time than I did here. So you can see the difference. The difference in the paper size. That's because I thought I would try to have it be the same size like this. Okay, now that's how I had done that one. But I'm looking at this thinking, I like this way better. I like it being bigger, you know. So you can attach like that. You could attach it in the center of your page right here, like down on the book like this, maybe down toward the corner. You guys are coming along with my thinking process here. This is not a, so see, you could put it down here in this corner of your book, and it's all right, you know, because then it will flip out both ways, okay? Or you can glue this The flap would end up going in though, so we wouldn't want to do that. We'd have to glue it in the middle. Okay, so I hope that wasn't too confusing, because we're gonna do another one and have our act together. Okay. All right, so we've got this one here. So I'm going to get another piece of paper. Let's go ahead and get a white one this time. Okay, now we're going to cut the paper the same size as this brown paper is, okay? All right. Now we know that it's we know that we have 6 inches is what the size of that is. But what I did is I took, let me find my little envelope I want to use. Here, let's use this one. Okay, so I am just going to put it right here. I'm just kind of lining it up. I'm not going to put the flap across it, okay? So I have the flap on it here. I'm going to make sure we're at the right spot. Everything is flush here. All right, now we're going to line it up with this seed packet so that we know we get it just perfect, okay? I hope you guys can see. There we go. Now, again, if it's not perfect, it's going to be because of the seed packet. Either that or my trimmer is ill. Like my trimmer may be sick. Okay, so there we go. Keep your fingers crossed. All right, so we've got this all nice and ready. So we can do it like this. And the way I did the other one, you could do it like this. Fold it backwards instead of forwards. Let's try that. Are you confused yet? I'm sorry, guys. I am real good at confusing people. But all we're having to do here is fold it in half because we used the width of the paper. Okay, which is, let me see how. It is I think this is 8.5 by 11. Yes, it is. It is. I can't get to my mat very well, but it is. That's 8.5 by 11. Okay, so if we decide we want to do it like this, which will make this be the front, when you put it down in your book, you could glue it down here. And this would come out. You would have this area. And then I'm thinking to see if this is what we want to do. But then it would go over and you would have that area. Right? So you'd have 3 squares. You would have this to hide your anything you might want to keep personal under here. When you go to lift this, you can lift it this way, or you can lift it out and up. Yeah, I like that. That's where I think we should put it. Now, I'm not stitching on this one because we don't need to stitch it, right? I think it would really go well if we matched like the gray with gray paper. But then you wouldn't have, you wouldn't be able to see your writing very well, right? Let's see if I get this on here straight this time. Now, I want to do it while I can make everything look even. Okay, let's keep our fingers crossed. I think this one's turning out better than the last one. I think that last one wasn't square. Okay, so we have it on. It's not gonna, there's no turning back now. So here we go. See? And it is attached to this side. Now, you can fold it, you can do it any way you want. Depends on what you're doing with the book that you're making or the journal. So like, for instance, let's put it here. Let's just think this out. So I'm putting it here in the lower right-hand corner of the page. Right here we have, you know, the pretty side. Because I'm wanting to use the seed packets because it's a gardening book. But you could use the seed packages for anything. You can cover these or collage on them. So here we've got this, and you've got also, you can stash a card for personal things there. You've got this, and then when the bottom is glued down, you've got this. Great idea, right? I think this is the best option. But I do like the pocket thing. What do we do with the pocket one? Where did it go, Mr. Pocket? Here it is. This is another pocket one I made. I've been playing with these for the last couple days. Oh, here's the one we did together. I'll get it right here in a minute. So with this one, we really are limited. We have this section. This could be covered if you wanted to. We have this section, and then we have whatever you have that you tuck in. You can write on that as well. And if we wanted to, we could do under here. Or under here, which I think is even better. Okay? Perfect. All right, so now we got to think about how we want to do those. Now that one, I like the way that one turned out. And I do like the way this turned out too, except I don't like the stitching being this color with this gray. But I'm not going to change that right now because we don't have time to mess with that. So, yeah. So let's make a couple more. Now, this is the other one that I made off camera when I was just thinking. I folded this over and I made it the same width, which is okay. But if we did it, here's the one that was crooked earlier, I think. No, this is the one I did before off camera. See, you can do it lots of ways. Like I've got it folded like a card here on the inside. You could just take a card base and hook on here, or paper, old text paper. Okay, I'm thinking that's why I'm kind of hesitating. Okay, so those are the two that I made ahead of time. I'm going to put those to the side because these are the ones we want to concentrate on. We still need to make one. This one, now this is the one that ended up crooked, isn't it? Yeah, see, I'm trying to think how we can change it to be workable. But see, you can see it, and I don't like that. So, and when you open it out and look, you can tell it's crooked. So this one's probably not going to be used because I don't want it to look crooked to a client. You know, I want everything to be nice and straight. Okay, so here's this. Now, we had our other paper, which I think is too short. It is. So we can't use that. So for this one, let's get, I have khaki and white and black paper up here. I just am out of cream. For this one, we're going to do like we did a minute ago, where we put this on first. And I think we'll do it the same way, where we cut it with the seed packet attached. And we will also a little bit further up, we will also leave this portion longer. And see, we can make the pocket bigger because it's going to take up quite a bit of room on a page anyway, right? Okay, so we've got this here. So when we want to fold this over, perfect. We want to make sure this is all nice and straight. That way it'll be nice and straight when we use our seed packet with it. Keep our fingers crossed anyway. Okay. Now, we can do it like this, which it looks really square, so that's good. See, you can't see anything here or anything here hanging over. I like that being out like that, so that doesn't bother me. I was just trying to do it different, but you know what? I like the pocket being bigger, and I'm actually going to get a bigger punch so that we can make a bigger scallop at the top. So this is a 1 3/4 size. Since we got, you know, a bigger pocket. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we're going to attach this right here. And then we'll be able to sew around it when we get ready. I don't really want to sew with this thread, and I don't want to make you guys hang around while I decide on what thread. So what I'm going to do is we're going to glue this to this side, just like we did the other one. Make it real simple. And then we know it will all end up square. So basically, we did them both the same. Okay. So we're going to take, and that, if you use the Fabri-Tac, it gives you some time. And what I recommend you do, if you're going to sew on the machine, is match it to your paper. Match your thread to your paper. I think you'll like it better by doing that. Now, you don't even have to sew. You could just glue it if you wanted to. Now's your opportunity to make sure everything is square. Right? It looks like it is. Yes, because you can add just a little bit. Since you know it's square, you can go ahead and do your fine line, the fine line, and go over here and let's see what side. We'll do it over here. I hope you guys can see. We're just going to do a little bit of glue where we would have our, where we would put our stitching. Okay. Now, and of course, this glue is water-based, so it's real thin. So you kind of have to, but it's not as bad as like when you use Fabri-Tac, you know, you can, you get a big wide seam. In other words, your line of glue will be wider once you close down on it. This one's so thin to start with that it's to your advantage. Do you see what I mean? Okay, let me close it so it doesn't, whoops. It's the only thing I hate about this glitter glue is you have to keep the cap on it. And I get sidetracked and forget sometimes. All right, so this one, you don't have to stitch it. If you don't have a sewing machine, you're fine. You don't have to stitch it. What we just did is perfectly fine. So, cool, right? Now, I would say we could decorate the front of this with, and see, we still have plenty of room right there. So let's do that. I'm going to move this sewing machine over because I'm not going to stitch it. We're just going to ink our picture here. I'm trying to use a lot of different little cards on this book, you know, different gardening type stuff. Now, that will look good there. And I'm just going to add that so you can see with me how it's going to look when it's all said and done. I tell you, if I had to say what I'm the worst at, it's getting the glue up to the edges without it seeping out everywhere. Drives me crazy. Now, so if this person wanted to know what their the plant was that they put in, you know, they planted, they can put a picture of it here, or they could put the ticket that shows the plant on it here. They could glue it on here, or just put it inside the envelope. And they could write all the dates and so forth on here as well. Now, I think we need to ink this whole thing so it, you know, looks cohesive. Now, you could put a tag, or you could put journaling paper or whatever on this big craft pocket. I'm not worrying about getting it super perfect. I mean, after all, it is a journal, right, that we're working on. But now you could do, there's a lot of things you can do to decorate this. And I'm thinking, as I'm doing this, you know, all the different things. You could decorate the tag that goes in it, first of all. You could, because it would take a big tag for this pocket. You can make the pocket smaller. I showed you how to do that. Just do it the width of the seed pack. And get this portion right here. That way when it's folded, you can see, you can see that it's inked around both sides. All right, so there we go. Now, we can put anything we want in this pocket because it is, you can't see. So let's just put a journaling card in there. How about this one? Let's go ahead and ink our little journaling card. I've got some really cute journaling cards to use with this kit. And so they can journal on the back of this card as well. They can journal, you know, I don't know, it depends. I don't know if you're like this, but when I journal, I like to journal on all the doodads. That's what I call it, the doodads. All the little items, all the tags, all the journaling slips. I take advantage of all of it. And, yeah. So that's in there. Now, surely whoever ends up with it would know to look in here, right? You never know. You never know. Sometimes it's best to put something the same size. Now, you could do prompts on here, like you could do, let's say, for example, you wanted to just put a tag that says journal, or notes, or memories, or, you know, stuff like that. So I'm not going to do that right now, but I wanted you to see how I was going to decorate it. Okay, so back over to this one. I would recommend on this one, because this is the one we're not going to close, okay? So I would recommend that we ink this one as well and glue this in. Now I'm going to show you how I recommend you do that. Good luck. I'm going to use this tiny thing and hope that I don't flop my whole video here by trying to put this in without, and getting it straight with glue on the back, right? It's not that easy. Okay, so this is the top here. Now, oops, wait a minute, I did that wrong. Oh, you can do it either way. So you can do the glue on the top. Yeah, this isn't easy, I'll tell you right now. Let me get it straight first. And then you think you have it straight, and then you realize you don't. It's wanting to stick on me. That's not too bad, huh? Now, just so you know, I put the glue on the back of my picture, and I should have put it on the top. Let me see if I can get it back out. For some reason, that glue, it didn't stick to anything. So we're lucky. It's dry. So we should do like this, just FYI. We may be screwing this one up, but I've got more where this came from. Right? All right. Don't want any big blotches. Now, let's try this again. And this time, what we want to try to do is get it in and center it on the window, or at the window. Now, this is not easy either. Okay, so you just kind of have to, ooh, I got it pretty straight that time. Let's see. We just need to push it down some. I don't know why this is not gluing to the surface. That's so weird. I can't get anything to cooperate during my video today. I may have to redo my video. There we go. Doesn't have the sunflower showing at the top, but that's close enough. I don't want to press my luck, if you know what I mean. So basically, you glue around the top front of the picture when you have the window. And you slide it in. You know, if your picture is big enough that you're going to have plenty of room, and you're going to attach it to the front, to the plastic side of the envelope on the inside. Does that make sense? Now, you would ink this. I'm not going to put you through that again. But you would ink it. Now, another thing you could do, if you had more than one copy, this had a little sunflower right there. You could put a little sunflower. And I have a sunflower. Let me grab it. Give me just a second. I'm bringing over the flowers. Okay, let me get my needle back in my glue. But first of all, we got to find it. Oh my word. This little pin inside this glitter glue is gonna kill me someday. I lose it all the time. Okay, so I was digging through this little box and found some sunflowers. Now, I know there's some individual ones in here too, but I'm going to have to look a minute. There's one. Now, I know that's a whole lot bigger than the one in the picture, but I think it will give it character if we add some if we add this at the top. Isn't that cute? Sewed for $100. It's a deal. So I'm inking around the cut areas because it'll look better if you don't have all that white showing around the outer edge. Come on out of here. And remember, we're going to hang that down a little bit over the window. So I'm going to take my finger because I want to get all the little petals. Oh, my mercy. My tongue is backwards today. Okay. So you want to do that so that they all stick down and they don't come up on you. So let's do it just like this. And it will, all the petals will stay down this way. Except maybe the one I was hanging on to. How cute. Now see, you just have to start playing with it and see how it turns out. Now, of course, like I said, we would ink everything. And I'm getting the glue off my finger here, which is covered pretty well. Oh my goodness. All right. Not going to worry about it too much. I'll be sticking to everything. Now, like we have this big one, which, you know, would be pretty on one of the pages. And I probably have more than just that one. Let's do that. I like that idea. We can decorate it. You have to think, how am I going to attach this? what is your plan for attaching this? So probably my plan would be like this. So since I have one, I can put it here, right? Because if you got any white space that you didn't fussy cut, make sure you just kind of ink it so it's not so bright. Because I will be inking this white paper and making it a little, I'll be using a brush. I'll show you what I'm talking about. To ink it in order to keep it from looking so blotchy. Okay, now another thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to cut off these stems right here. Because I want it to look more like that's the end of something. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking. There's a lot of ways you can cut the stem off, but I decided to do it where you couldn't see the stem at all at the bottom. That way. And actually, I don't like this leaf, so he's coming off too. So you can operate on your fussy cut stuff. Do it how you want. Yeah, just like that. See, and then we don't have all that extra fuss going on. We could even cut that one. Before I'm done here, we won't have a flower. If I keep it up, right? So I cut that one awkward flower that was on the bottom off. It was kind of weird looking. And I like the way it looks much better now. I have little fuzz coming off of my... now I am going to use my Fabri-Tac on this because I need this little tip. See all these little petals, you know, we've already established that Fabri-Tac can't get in those little spots. And hopefully this doesn't roll out everywhere. It dries so fast, you have to be quick. Okay. Which I'm not good at being, but we'll see. Now, if you put the flowers on your paper, I don't recommend that you, I'm trying to find my little brush like this. I don't recommend you use a prompt, you know, on it because it'll look weird to try to make it look, good grief. There's so much glue on there that it's hard to tell what's what. Okay, so I'm going to get one of my brushes. And I'm going to also get something and put under it so I don't have to worry about it. And see, by doing this, you can do it, your inking with this and make it so much lighter. If you don't have the makeup brushes, you can get them anywhere. Don't pay the high prices at like not Sam's. Why did I say that? At on Amazon, you can go buy makeup brushes, but you can also buy the professional ones that don't do anything different. These are the professional ones. They look just like my friends' makeup ones. So when she was buying hers, well, when I bought mine, I had not heard anything about them before, you know. But they don't leave us, they don't leave a big circle from the shape of your sponge. And look at the difference. So I think we'll go ahead and do this too. And we just won't ink the one that goes on the page. We'll just ink the ones that you'll have access to. If you're not careful, you can still get those lines. What I say to you is keep your brush going in circles and you're less likely to get them. If you stop, you're going to get a line. So you can go over them and over them. And, yeah, just like that. Now, I know that's, we're going to still do this one right here. I know that, see, like I started in the middle. That's a no-no too. Start on the edge. See, I got a circle from that. I know with the old brushes that when I learned how to blend my colors with the round sponge and the square sponge, I never could get it right with the, it's not actually square, it's more like a rectangle. I never could get it right. But with the round one, if this is all you've got, if you will go in circles, okay, in the air, we'll practice right here because this is going to be glued down. So if you'll go in circles in the air before you touch the paper, okay, and then be on the corner or on the side. Circle, 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 circle. And you just kind of, it's kind of like a landing an airplane. Now, these are more circles than you normally would get. But if you keep blending over it, see, that disappears. So you just stay on there. And it does get better. Blending with a circle brush or tool, you don't get as good of results. And this is how I was taught to do it. And you can see that it still is not that great. But it looks better when you use the other tool. But this is going to be glued down, so we don't have to worry about that. And I did make a boo-boo right there. You can see the difference. Then if you look right there, okay? The blending, I mean, you can actually blend with either tool and get a really good look. You just got to be good at it. I can remember blending the different blue colors because I'd want a sky when I was making my cards or whatever. And I remember thinking, I'm never going to get this right. You know, this is just hard. And I was really glad when they came out with the brushes. But if I had it to do over again, I'll tell you what my friend paid. My friend paid $19.99 for her brushes. You get a big set. There's like 12 or something in it. And they're different sizes. And they get even smaller than this. And I do recommend that you only use the color you start with. So I only use Vintage Photo with them. But if I'm going to use other colors, I get the other one, another one out. You can wash these. She gave $19.99 for hers. I gave $40 for mine. $39.99 is what I gave for mine. I went to convention. It was a scrapbooking, card making convention. And I saw them and I thought, and I watched them use them. And I thought, man, that is brilliant. I used them there and did a really good job compared to normal. And I was just blown away. I couldn't believe it. So we have this one finished. And we should have inked that a little bit. Do you agree? Yeah, maybe a little. But we're learning. That's what I'm telling myself. So we have our two little flip outs, seed pockets for our journal. And now I'm not going to put them in yet till I have everything for our journal. But I may go back and stitch this, and if I decide to, you'll see it in the book when I do my flip through. But I'll be back for us to decorate the book together. So I don't know how long this video has been, but I think we've learned as much as we can from this. I hope this was helpful. I know it was like starting from scratch, because basically that's what I was doing. I had this in my head, and before I went on, I just kind of glued some things together and thought, you know, this will work and that will be cool. And because it's a gardening book, I wanted to put the seed, you know, envelopes in. So I think they turned out pretty darn good. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. I'm so glad that you've come to join us. I try to do a video every other day or every 3 days. I try not to go longer than that. It depends on what I'm working on. And my husband's retired now, so you know what that's like. Has to have attention every now and then. But Sadie's so excited that she's got Daddy home. She's got a sidekick now, and so it has really made a difference, because, you know, I'm in here every day, all day, pretty much, and she hated it in this room. From the time she was born, she hated it in this room. And now she's got Daddy as a sidekick, and she's loving it. She goes out with him on the patio and sits and have breakfast in the morning, and sits out there with us in the evening if we set out. And she is loving having Daddy home. And when he leaves, this is funny. There's a rug at the back door, at the garage door, where he goes out to get in the car. She can hear when he comes back, and she goes crazy. But when he leaves and she's not sure if he's coming back or not, she will sit. My fist is her, okay? This is her face right here. This is the door. She will get right like this, and she will sit there and sit there and sit there till he comes in with her face. I mean, she could touch the door with her nose if she were to not be careful. And it's so cute to watch her just sitting there waiting on Daddy. And then when she hears the garage door open, she comes and tells me. She comes all the way in here and barks and cries at the same time. You guys, she is one of the smartest dogs I've had. You wouldn't believe the things that she can do. I've had a lot of people ask me about her. That's the reason I'm going to tell you a little bit. She can walk across the room. She can walk across 2 rooms if she wants something bad enough, like a snack. She is not table broke. She came to us after being fed from the table, you know, little bits of this and that. And so we have to save her a tiny, teeny, tiny bite, so she thinks that she's getting something. She cries the whole time we're eating, and she will jump and beg. Jump and beg, jump and beg. And you will not believe how high she can jump. She can jump and take something out of your hand at the dinner table. The dog needs to be in the circus. You know, you always see poodles in the circus. Well, it's because they're smart. She can walk. She can do cartwheels. She goes nuts when she sees the dog next door, and she does these little cartwheels. And she doesn't know she's doing cartwheels, but she is. And so, yes, she's a mess, and she's the boss of this house. And that's okay, because we love her. We love her. She was hard in the beginning, but now she's a breeze. So, Gail, hang in there. I know Gail has a new dog, and I can sympathize with you, Gail. They're so hard in the beginning, but it did take a little more than a year for Sadie to become an angel. And she's still not really an angel, but to be where you can stand to be around her. But it does happen, and now we just love her and can't imagine not having her. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it wasn't too much of a mess. Go over to the giveaway video and watch it. I'm going to be giving 2 journals away, so go check out that video. Leave your message there. Like that message, or like that video, and subscribe at that video. Do it all there, and you can be entered to have a chance. There's going to be 2 people win. One will win one journal, one will win the other. So good luck. See you guys next time. Bye.